In today's programme, we step back in time with two visitors to Flatford Mill in Suffolk. The painter John Constable lived and worked here for much of his life. We see the places where the artist painted his famous works. We learn about life at the mill in Constable's time. And, stepping into the present again, we see what changes have been made recently. Edward Jackson tells us how this lovely place has been preserved and converted into a study centre. And Meter Man is interested in painting too. But first, our visitors are having trouble finding their way. Everyday English.
Well, I don't know. We seem to be lost. Where's the map? They sent us a very good map.
I don't know. Didn't you pack it?
No, didn't you?
No. You're always forgetting things. You're always in such a hurry. Why don't you do things more slowly?
Oh, shut up. It's not my fault. Why don't you lend a hand more? You always leave everything to me. You never take any responsibility. Do this, do that, do the other. And stop criticising me. You're always criticising me. I've had enough.
Oh, come on. We should be enjoying ourselves. Don't let's have a row.
All right. Well, let's try it this way. It looks hopeful.
Brushes. Oil paints. Terps. What about canvases? Didn't you pack canvases? Oh, for heaven's sake.
Don't start criticising me again. Anyway, the canvases are here. Why don't you use your eyes?
Oh dear, that's not a good start. I'm afraid our two friends are having a quarrel. Here's a helping hand with criticising and getting angry. First, using the present tenses with always and never.
You're always forgetting things.
You're always forgetting things.
You're always in such a hurry.
You're always in such a hurry.
You always leave everything to me.
You always leave everything to me.
You never take any responsibility.
You never take any responsibility.
You're always criticising me.
You're always criticising me. And you can show how angry you are with, why don't you? Like this.
Why don't you do things more slowly?
Why don't you do things more slowly?
Why don't you lend a hand more?
Why don't you lend a hand more? Improve your fluency. And to improve your fluency when you're having an argument, here are two useful phrases.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
I've had enough.
I've had enough.
So this is the house where Constable's father lived until 1774, 2 years before Constable was born.
Constable's father was a miller. He was quite a wealthy man. This is one of the mills which he owned.
The visitors seem happy again now. They are looking around the places that Constable knew and painted, comparing how they looked then and now.
It's lovely, isn't it? That's the cottage which he painted in the Haywain. It's called Willie Lott's house. And this is where he sat to paint the picture.
He painted the Haywain in 1821. Aha, he didn't sit here. It says he painted the picture in London, so he painted it from memory.
And from sketches, of course. So this is the place where he sat to do the sketches.
This is the place where he painted boat building.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Those are the fields which he painted. This is the place where the boat lay.
And there's a lock, which is behind those trees. I think this is the spot where he painted Flatford Mill. It's difficult to say exactly. And the trees are different now.
And now, a helping hand to talk about those places and the pictures which Constable painted. We are using relative clauses with which and where.
It's lovely, isn't it? That's the cottage which he painted in the haywain.
That's the cottage which he painted in the haywain.
So this is the place where he sat to do the sketches.
This is the place where he sat to do the sketches.
This is the place where he painted boat building.
This is the place where he painted boat building.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Those are the fields which he painted. This is the place where the boat lay.
These are the fields which he painted. This is the place where the boat lay.
I think this is the spot where he painted Flatford Mill.
I think this is the spot where he painted Flatford Mill.
It's difficult to say exactly. And the trees are different now.
Specialised English.
Hello, you must be Katie. And Gavin. I'm Edward, pleased to meet you. Have you settled in all right?
Yes, thanks. And we've had a lovely walk round. We're looking forward to doing some painting.
Can you tell us more about the mill in Constable's time?
Constable's paintings show us a way of life which has mostly passed away today. The mill is a good example.
Didn't Constable used to work here?
That's right. His father owned the mill and Constable worked here for a year, learning the business of grinding corn. They used to grow a lot of corn around here, mainly barley. They still do. Over there, for example.
Did they used to bring the corn here by river?
Yes, both by road and by river. You can see one of the barges in the painting here. The horse would walk along the path at the side of the river, pulling or towing the boat.
Look at the sky and clouds in the painting.
When he was learning the milling business, Constable found out how important the weather was. He would watch the sky carefully for any sign of change. Do you see that bell up there? When the water level was right, they used to ring that bell to tell everyone that they were going to mill. Then the families roundabout would bring their corn to be ground.
Oh, really? That's nice.
They also used to ring the bell if there was a danger of flooding. That happened quite often in winter. They would ring the bell and the people roundabout would know that they had to get their cows and sheep to safety.
A helping hand. Talking about a way of life in the past. Here's a helping hand with used to and would.
They used to grow a lot of corn around here, mainly barley. They still do.
They used to grow a lot of corn around here.
Did they used to bring the corn here by river?
Did they used to bring the corn here by river?
Do you see that bell up there? When the water level was right, they used to ring that bell to tell everyone that they were going to mill.
They used to ring that bell. And now using would.
The horse would walk along the path at the side of the river, pulling or towing the boat.
The horse would walk along the path, towing the boat.
When he was learning the milling business, Constable found out how important the weather was. He would watch the sky carefully for any sign of change.
He would watch the sky carefully for any sign of change.
Then the families roundabout would bring their corn to be ground.
The families round about would bring their corn to be ground.
How long have you been director here at Flatford?
I've been director here for 10 years.
And have you made many changes?
We haven't added any new buildings, but we have made lots of alterations and improvements, like here at Valley Farm. This is the house where I live with my family.
You're very lucky, it's beautiful.
It's 600 years old. We live in this side of the house, and we've converted this side into visitor accommodation. This used to be the pantry, where they kept bread and dry food. We've turned this room into a bedroom. This used to be the buttery, where they stored the butts or barrels of beer. We've made this into a bathroom. We've converted the room up these stairs into a double bedroom. The stairs are from the 14th century. As you can see, we haven't changed them at all.
How many visitors come to stay every year?
We get about 5,000 visitors every year. In fact, over the last 10 years, we have doubled the number of visitors who come to stay, and we've doubled the number of people who work here.
A helping hand. And now, talking about recent actions and their results, which we can see today, using the present perfect tense.
And have you made many changes?
Have you made many changes?
We've turned this room into a bedroom.
We've turned this room into a bedroom.
The stairs are from the 14th century. As you can see, we haven't changed them at all.
As you can see, they haven't changed the stairs at all. A personal view. Edward Jackson is the director of the Field Studies Centre at Flatford Mill. The Field Studies Centre is part of the Field Studies Council. What is the Field Studies Council and what does it do?
The Field Studies Council is a charity and we're involved in environmental education. We run short courses for people of all ages, and they come from their homes or from their schools or from their colleges, and they stay with us for a few days. And the courses we run are based around the arts and also the local environment.
In the 18th and 19th century, Flatford Mill was owned by the Constable family, but later it changed hands.
Back in 1946, the National Trust took over Flatford Mill and all the buildings here, and very soon afterwards they invited the Field Studies Council to come to Flatford Mill and take a lease. So the Field Studies Council became tenants of the National Trust, and we run our business here, and the Field Centre has grown since then.
Edward Jackson has worked for the Field Studies Council since leaving university.
I came in 1986. I've worked for the Field Studies Council for all my career, for 20 years. And I used to work in Yorkshire at one of our other centres. And I worked my way up there, and then one of the top jobs came up, and they asked me whether I would like to come to Flatford Mill, and I said yes, very much so.
The Field Studies Centre at Flatford Mill has grown a lot over the past 50 years. It runs courses for individuals and for families. The old buildings have been adapted to provide accommodation for 70 people.
The Field Centre is very much a living, working community. It could have been turned into a museum, but we feel that it would have made the place very, very dull and boring to have people coming in and out of the building. So when people come to Flatford, we have maybe 70 people at any one time and 20 staff. So there are lots of people here doing all sorts of different activities.
But make sure that you don't have too large a gap so that you miss out about the vegetation.
I personally am responsible for teaching with young people. I teach environmental studies. I teach geography to older students, and I also do many courses for adults and families. My own particular interest is in bird watching, and within that I have a special interest in bird song. So people come and spend a weekend with me in the springtime, and they learn how to appreciate and how to listen to and how to identify all the bird songs and calls.
Flatford Mill is most famous today because of the work of the artist John Constable.
John Constable's father owned Flatford Mill, and John was born in 1776, and Flatford Mill was his father's main workplace. And John Constable knew this place extremely well. He would come down and be with his father when he was a young boy. But in walking and exploring around Flatford, he became fascinated by the place. Constable was a person who was very aware of his own environment. From the age of 7 or 8, he was very wrapped up in the local environment here. And the way that he responded to it was through his painting and drawing. And so we respond to our environment in all sorts of ways. Some of them, the ways we respond are through painting and drawing, but also in many other ways as well. People often see Constable's paintings and say, "Oh, isn't that wonderful? It hasn't changed since then." He was painting things that were constant. Now, in fact, that's the wrong way round. Constable was painting a tremendous amount of change, in effect, because he lived at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution and saw changes going on around him. His paintings are simply snapshots. They are little views of all the changes that were going on in his time. So he would be very tuned in to the changes that we experience today.
But, like many artists in the past, John Constable was not admired or appreciated in his own lifetime.
Well, strangely, in Constable's own lifetime, he was not recognised because he was actually way outside the experience of most people at the time. The sort of paintings he was doing was we would say now, is avant-garde. But now, with the benefit of hindsight, looking back to Constable's time, we realise that he was a very revolutionary painter.
Now, the last painting I've got to show you is the White Horse.
Edward Jackson's job brings together two aspects. On the one hand, the creativity of a great artist. On the other hand, our care and concern for the environment today.
Environmental issues are increasingly important to us nowadays. The way that we live in and use the environment is quite critical to our future, and we have recognised this over the last 10, 20 years. And so our job is to encourage young people to have an awareness and understanding and hopefully an empathy for the environments in which they live, and also the environments in which other people live, so that they can appreciate it and learn to cherish it and look after it for future generations.
That sky's too bright. You should do it in a paler shade of blue. And that house doesn't look like that at all. You've got the perspective all wrong.
Oh, for goodness sake, stop criticising my work. You're always doing that. Mind your own business.
I'm only trying to help.
Well, you always say that. I call it interfering. Anyway, you got the light wrong on yours. Why do you always use so much grey? It's not grey at all.
Hello. This is a weekend painting course. Most enjoyable. Everyone's friendly. We all get along very well with each other.
You're late, and you've brought the rain with you. We're off to the studio.
English weather. So, this is the studio.
So you're late again. You'd better sit at the back of the class.
At the back?
Yes, the back.
We all use different materials. We can choose whatever we like. Now, personally, I like to paint in oils. Oil on canvas. The same as the old masters. Gainsborough, Reynolds, Constable. I like to feel I'm part of a grand tradition. Now, this lady is painting in oils. This is the easel, and this the canvas. Now, these, of course, are the brushes. Nice thick ones for oils. And here are the tubes of paint. Wonderful colours. Cadmium yellow, raw sienna, Windsor blue. This is the palette where you mix the colours. And here is the turpentine for cleaning the brushes. And what are you doing, sir?
I'm painting a landscape in pastel.
A landscape in pastel. Very good. And what are you up to, young man?
Oh, it's just a sketch, a study. I've done several of them already, as you can see.
Ah, sketches done in charcoal. This is the sketchbook, and this is the charcoal. Now, this lady is using something different. Acrylic paints. Don't scrub, my dear lady. Slowly, slowly. Rome wasn't built in a day, you know. That's one of our little sayings. Rome wasn't built in a day. My dear lady, what do we have here?
A watercolour.
A watercolour. A very charming watercolour. What is it? Pretty as a picture. What are you drawing, my dear? May I have a look?
Oh no, you really mustn't see.
Is that supposed to be a still life?
Oh, I used to do still life work, my dear lady, when I was younger, but not anymore. Nowadays, I do portraits. I've done a few preliminary sketches. And this is my self-portrait. The artist at work. And when it's finished, I'm going to give it to her. I don't like being at the back. Experts like me shouldn't be at the back of the class. I'm going to go to the front.
Brilliant.
I wish I could handle pastels like that.
Yeah, well, don't we all? But you could, because a lot of it is...
Allow me to offer you this.
I've got something for you too.
Oh, I say, a portrait of Meter Man. That's very fine indeed. It will go in my sitting room.
What have you done? Have dare you appear in my picture?
What a shame. I was quite struck by that picture.
Use your eyes.
Use your eyes if you want to paint a picture. That's what John Constable did. Look at the landscape. Look at the clouds. Look at the water. Nearby is this private museum. There's plenty to look at here. You can see how they used to live and work at the end of the 19th century. The first bicycles were more difficult to ride than bicycles today. Those were the days of the horse, before cars and lorries came onto the roads. Life was slower in those days. Much of the work was done by hand. Carrying the milk, pumping the water. He used to make wheels for farm carts, like the cart in Constable's hay wain. Some things haven't changed. Barley still grows in the field, and poppies are in flower around the outside. People always enjoy going on the water. And the cows eat grass in the fields by the river, where John Constable painted them years ago. You can see his paintings in the National Gallery and in other London galleries. Use your eyes. Look at the posters and visit the galleries in Britain's cities. Wherever you go, take time out to visit the art galleries. Do remember to look at the exercises, grammar and vocabulary in your student's book. Next week's programme is about an arts festival. Not just painting, but music and theatre as well. Come with us to make the most of summertime and the arts in Britain.